So, what's the craziest thing you ever done in your life? Sometimes the juice is worth the squeeze. And what I mean by that is a hidden gem of a film called The Girl Next Door from 2004. Now, some of you may say this is a film that is similar to an 80s film called Risky Business. In many ways, yes. In many ways, it's part of the teenage comedy era that films such as American Pie, Not Another Teen Movie, Bring It On, and many others were released in the early 2000s. But it's also much more than that. This is a film that is really, in a way, a teenage rom com. You know, it deals with this young man who meets this beautiful woman, the girl next door. There's more to her past, but it's really a love story about two people accepting each other for who they are and not for what they may have done in their lives. And that is something of an underrated tale, I feel. This is a film that I first saw on Cinemax HBO back in the early 2000s. It was a funny comedy, and it's a very popular film at the time, at least for those who were in middle school slash high school in the early 2000s. You know what this film is. You've seen it. You may have grown to love it and other films, such as the ones I mentioned a while ago. And it's definitely one of those films that I feel has been kind of obscured, you know? It's a film that didn't really do very well at the box office, but I think has had a great afterlife with television and home video. The Girl Next Door stars Emile Hirsch as Matthew Kidman, who meets this beautiful woman named Danielle, played by Alicia Kubert, and she is beautiful in this film. You may recognize her as Jack Bauer's daughter in 24. She's also on The Ranch now with Ashton Kutcher. The chemistry between these two leads is what makes this film. In addition to them, you have Chris Marquette as Eli, Paul Dano as Klitz, and they're pretty much Matthew's friends. The basis of The Girl Next Door is pretty much this high school senior. He's about to graduate. This mysterious girl moves in, and you discover that she used to be a porn star. She's an adult film actress. So it creates a crux with their relationship, but I love it because even though you have all the adult industry stuff in this film, the heart of this film is the relationship between Matthew and Danielle. And I love the chemistry between the two leads. The best parts of this film are just them doing crazy things, them spending time together. And I love it. There's that famous scene where they're listening to music on headsets and you have Take a Picture by Filter. Such a great moment. Between that and the restaurant scene at the diner where she's drawing, that's actually a drawing the actress did herself. But you get to the adult industry side. We have Timothy Olyphant as a character of Kelly, and he is great in this. He's basically a porn director who wants Danielle back in his films. You also get to have James Remar as Hugo Posh, a sort of type of producer, porn star, wanting her back in this world. Do they focus enough on abuse with women? No, not as much as they should. And there's other things that they could explore more, but I love the theme of this film. You know, that's just side stuff. The adult industry stuff is just side stuff, comedy stuff. It's really about accepting people for who they are. And that's part of the challenge between Danielle and Matthew, you know. It starts off with a romance of loving each other for who they are, and then Matthew finding out about her adult film past. That creates a problem. He starts to see her in a different way, and he starts to see her for what she used to do, not for who she is as a person. And that's part of the reason why she loved Matt next door. Overall, this has a lot of zany comedy. You also have Matthew's friend Eli, who the director Luke Greenfield said was based on Eli Roth. He wears a Vivid Entertainment cap. He wants to be an adult film director, so immediately he wants Matthew to sleep with Danielle and all this other crazy stuff. You get your usual teenage comedy like in films such as American Pie or Porky's. But Luke Greenfield also directed The Animal and Something Borrowed. He's a very good director, and I like how this film is directed. It's nothing major, but it does have a lot of heart to it. I do love the story, you know. You do have the adult industry stuff, but that's not what defines this film. No, it's the girl next door and the arc Matthew goes through, you know, living a careful life, learning how to be careless, but more than that, learning how to take chances. And sometimes the juice is worth the squeeze. You have to go out there, put yourself out there, and fight for what you love. And that's ultimately the theme of the story. Oh, and fun fact, you also have a young Autumn Reeser and Olivia Wilde in this film. Overall, it's your basic 2000s teen film, but the relationship, the romance, heart of it is what makes it different and stand apart from American Pie, Not Another Teen Movie, and all the other films from that era. And I feel like it's a hidden gem because right now it's kind of underrated, you know? There are some out there who may find this a cliche movie, not very funny. I can understand that. But there's some others, if you like teenage comedies, it's not as great as Ferris Bueller or any John Hughes film. But if you're a fan of like Revenge of the Nerds or Porky's, the American Pie films, then you'll definitely love The Girl Next Door. And yeah, I just never seen an actress as beautiful as Eliza Kubert in this film. Like really, you could definitely tell the visual beats and story beats they took from Risky Business. The only difference that Danielle's not a prostitute. She is a former porn star. So that's the difference. But you could definitely tell parallels with Rebecca De Mornay's character, Elisha Cooper, and then Emile Hirsch and Tom Cruise. Originally, this was going to be a Risky Business remake, and then it kind of took a life of its own. Overall, this isn't a bad 20th Century Fox film from the early 2000s. If you're into comedies and stuff, I recommend it. I give it a 4 out of 5 and an A-. And I just wanted to recommend it for hidden gems because not many people have heard about it, but you see music video montages. It has a great soundtrack, shot very well. Perhaps it looks a little bit like a 90s film in many ways, but it has a lot of comedy. And I think the leads do a great job with the material they're given. It's nothing groundbreaking, but it does have a lot of charm and heart. And that goes a long way. So if you're in the mood for a different type of comedy, different type of rom-com, teenage comedy films, definitely check out The Girl Next Door. It's a little hidden gem from the early 2000s. If you like this video, you can also check out these videos on my channel. Feel free to subscribe for more videos. You can follow me at Fred Film Fanatic on Instagram and Stardust. Till next time, everyone.